Hello. Today we're going to continue our author's craft unit. Today we're going to focus on figurative language, one of the tools that authors use to make their work more interesting. We're going to show you some examples of how it's used in writings, songs, TV shows, and even movies. Our learning target for today is understanding what the figurative language elements are. We will do that through our mini lesson. Our homework for today is to complete a 7-minute, 30-second ed puzzle that shows movies using figurative language. Underneath here are the movies that will be shown, and many of these you might have heard of, or most of them you might have even seen. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and get started, and we're going to get a little more deeply involved in what figurative language is. Okay, figurative language, it uses figures of speech to convey images and create a special effect or impression. Authors often use figurative language to create meaning by comparing one thing to another. An image is a word or sequence of words that makes a sensory image in your mind. A figurative language or speech contains images. A writer or speaker describes something, and what they're trying to do through the use of unusual comparisons is they're trying to make an effect or create an interest or make things clearer. These are just tools or techniques that the authors use for the creation of making interesting images in your mind. Here are the figurative language tools that we're going to be studying. Some of these you may have heard and worked with, some may be new. We're going to go over imagery, similes and metaphors, hyperboles, personification, alliteration, assonance, consonants, idioms, paradox, and this one's always tough on me, onomatopoeias. Okay, so let's go ahead and on the next few slides, see what we got. Imagery. In literature, one of the strongest devices is imagery, where the author uses words or phrases to create mental images for the reader. This helps us visualize things more realistically. Some of the things that we use in our senses, the authors will use a visual picture, a sound, feeling of touch, taste, or odor. Okay, if you look at the senses that you have, over here we have like sight. The author writes, the tiny red ant climbed up the broken twig. You can visualize in your mind, tiny red ant climbing up a broken twig. Smell, the sweet smell of a freshly baked apple filled the air. Okay. Taste, one bite of the sour lemon caused my lips to pucker. The car, for sound, the car squeaked every time I hit a bump in the road. Touch, the sharp edge of the paper cut on my finger and made it sting. Okay, cut my finger and made it sting. So all these senses here, these images that they're saying, is you read these and you get an image of this in your mind. Our second one is similes and metaphors. A simile is an implied comparison between two unlike things that usually use like or as. So I've got some examples here. You are as brave as a lion. He is as funny as a barrel of monkeys. They fought like cats and dogs. You're making a comparison, but you're using like and as. A metaphor is also a comparison between two unlike things, but it's describing something as it is something exactly. It's not using like or as a comparison. A couple examples here. The classroom was a zoo. The alligator's teeth are white daggers. Okay, she is a peacock. My teacher is a dragon. Okay, but it's saying exactly what they are. It's not comparing them to it. They're saying they are those. So that's similes and metaphors. Here's some songs that have similes and metaphors. I'm not going to play them all, but what I'm going to do is I have one that I actually heard of. So if I get to the minute and 10 seconds. Okay, there we go. There we go. Okay, so a song by Imagine Dragons. The metaphor here is I'm radioactive. Okay, so it's saying this is what they are. I am radioactive. That would be a metaphor example in a song. If you want to listen to the whole part, there's over 6 minutes of songs here. Here are some of the musicians or singers that they have. You may have noticed some, you may not. Okay, all right. Another one is hyperbole. This is an extreme exaggeration used for effect. I've told you 100 times, okay? Hyperbole is without a doubt the single greatest thing in the history of the universe. It was so cold, I saw polar bears wearing hats and jackets. I am so hungry I could eat a horse. So these are very large exaggerations, hyperboles. Personification. It is a figure of speech which a thing, quality, or idea is represented as a person. The hours crawled by like years. You are giving human qualities to animals or inanimate objects. The stars winked at me. The city never sleeps. The wind howled. Okay, personification. Here's some examples again in music. All right, I'm going to play a song by Green Day here, the 2-minute mark. If I can find it here. I'm almost there. You'll notice the part that is going to be underlined. Here we go. Broken Dreams by Green Day. I walk this empty street on the boulevard of broken dreams, where the city sleeps and Okay, so when the city sleeps, it's underlined. Okay, that is giving a human quality. Okay, and used as personification. Okay, again, there's about 3 minutes worth of music. Here are some of the songs. They'll all be underlined, the parts that go over that are the personification examples. I'll let you listen to that on your own if you want. Alliteration. Alliteration is the repetition of the same sound at the beginning of 2 or more closely associated words. 7 steaks sizzled on the grill. Okay. Peter Piper picked a peck of pickled peppers. Okay. Sheep should sleep in a shed. I saw a saw that could outsaw any other saw I ever saw. Okay. Alliteration. Okay. Okay. Assonance. The repetition of a vowel sound. Try to light the fire. So we got a vowel sound I. The rain in Spain falls mainly on the plain. That's kind of a common one. Okay. All right. Consonants, just like the previous one, but this is with consonants instead of vowels. Okay. First and last, odds and ends, stroke of luck. So first and last, you have ST, odds and ends, DS. Okay. All right. Stroke of luck. And you have the hard K sound. Okay. Do not go gentle into that good night. So hard T sound there for those. Okay. Consonants. Idioms. This is a phrase that conveys a figurative meaning that is difficult or impossible to understand based solely on a literal interpretation of the words of the phrase. Okay, but when you hear it, you can understand it. All right. So here are some common idioms. Cat got your tongue. Snug as a bug in a rug. Go the extra mile. Butterflies in my stomach. To go down in flames. Once in a blue moon. Okay, idioms. All right. They can portray a meaning, but not literally. Okay? A paradox is a statement that seems impossible at first, but actually makes sense, an apparent contradiction. Bittersweet. You shouldn't go in the water till you know how to swim. Okay? Contradiction. If you don't go in the water, how do you ever learn to swim? But it makes sense when you're saying you shouldn't go in the water until you know how to swim. Okay? A paradox. The blue button is true. The red button is false. Okay, that lets you think about that one for a while. That's sort of like the Keanu Reeves movie. Okay, all right. I forget the name of it now, but yeah, the red and blue pill. Okay, there you go. All right, onomatopoeia. Okay, these words that imitate the sounds it represents. Okay, my apologies. This is showing my age, and you have like pow, boom, that kind of stuff. It kind of boom. All right, this is an episode of the original Batman. This goes back to 1966. Don't do the math and figure out how old I am, but this is a short clip from the original Batman TV show. All right, with some onomatopoeias. Oops, I'm getting ahead of myself here. Let's go ahead. There we go. All right.
Surrender that gigantic pie to the fame
Okay, so my apologies for the fake violence. Okay, so obviously they didn't hit each other, but okay, onomatopoeias. All right, so those are our figurative language. All right, so for our assignment, here's what we would like you to do. All right, we have the 7 minute and 30-second ed puzzle, and it shows several movies, and it will show people saying and using figurative language in the movie. All right, and then on the right side here, they'll have what the choices are. So in the movie here, it looks like this is from Harry Potter. She says, by behaving like a babbling, bumbling band of baboons. Okay, and the question is, what type of figurative language is the quote, behaving like a bubbling, babbling band of baboons? We have alliteration, assonance, hyperbole, and personification. And the correct answer is alliteration. Okay, so we'd like you to do this assignment, and there are 14 questions in this ad puzzle. It shouldn't take you very long. You can read your book when you're done, and if you have any questions, make sure to contact Mr. Freeze and I. Thank you very much for watching the video. Good luck with your ed puzzle, and use figurative language. Bye-bye.